Hi guys, so today I'm just going to make that nail you saw at the beginning there, and I have my practice hand only because I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to do my own nails. I want to do it before the weekend, and so right now I have some time and I want to show you guys quickly what I'll probably be doing. Be using a mix from a mix that I have from my store, Envy Store. Sorry, that nail's broken. And some Diva DC products to actually put the nail on, but I realized that it's been a while since I've done a video from start to finish, so I'm going to go ahead and act like this is what I would normally do for my hand. So I'm going to take my ASP antibacterial spray. Any antibacterial spray will work, or just wash your hands really well and use, whatever you have that that your hands are nice and clean. So I'm just going to spray that, and you can also spray your tools with it and all that good stuff, of course. And then I'm going to go in, I'm just going to dry that, and start prepping the nail. So then I take my cuticle pusher, this one I picked up at Sally's, and I would just push back the cuticles on the nail, and I would take a very light file, something in the 180 or 220 range, because you want it to be nice and smooth to not damage your nail, but just to take the shine off of the nail. And I would also make sure you really clean up around the cuticle area and get all that dead skin off, okay? So you just pick all that off. Then I'm going to take a little wipe, and I'm going to take some dehydrant, and this is the IBD dehydrant from Sally Beauty. You can use whatever you like. And this is made to spray, but I like to spray it on a little wipe better, and that way you can wipe off all that dust and everything. Okay, there's that. And of course we need to prime. This is Something Wonderful from Nail Art Ink, and it's one of my favorite primers, or probably my favorite primer. And I like to put 2 coats of that, so I'll apply some and just give it a second. You can apply your nail form before or after this part, it's up to you. I'm just going to apply the 1 coat and let that start working its way in there. And I'm going to take some of these, not some, but 1 of these nail forms. I'm going to make a almond shaped nail. And I've been looking online right now recently just because I'm finally back on my YouTube and checking things out, and I've been watching videos and other things, so you can put the form on the back if you like, and just kind of round it out. And I've been noticing people have been giving funny names to these almond nails, or rounded nails, or stiletto, mini stiletto, baby stiletto, almondetto, almondoretto. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, I guess a mix of stiletto, but that's up to you what you want to call it, I guess. So I'm going to apply the form as straight as I can, especially on a fake nail. What you want to do on your real nail is obviously get this under the nail, okay? You don't want to put it on top of it or anything like that. It tucks in right under the nail, and make sure your sidewalls are all matched up and all that good stuff. So I'm going to try to do this as best I can. Sometimes it's hard with these fake stiff hands like that. It looks crooked to me. So let me get this on here. That's better. Probably too much nail, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and push the back down because it's easier on this, but you probably want to pinch the front and all that when you're doing it on your real nail. And I'm going to close these up. And since we are going for a rounded look, it's okay that it's pinched tight, okay? As you can see, it's pinched in a stiletto shape. You can leave it kind of rounded, kind of open. You can leave it square if you like. It's just going to make the nail wider at that point, so I like to keep it a little bit tighter, okay? And let me get my monomer ready and my acrylic. So I have my monomer ready here. Diva DC monomer. It's just the regular professional monomer. I also have the Diva DC acrylic in clear. It's a huge bottle, I know, in clear, 60-ounce professional. I'm just going to keep it out of the way because obviously it's huge. You can also put the powder in a different container just so you can work with it easier. Right here I have half a teaspoon of one of my mixes from my Crazy Stupid Love glitter mix collection, and this one it's green and it has cute like fuchsia hearts and fuchsia tinsel and some other iridescent glitter in there. And I'm just going to have half a teaspoon there, and if you do purchase it from my store Envy, it comes in a teaspoon. And I'm going to put half a teaspoon of acrylic powder. There goes my brush, just fell. So you just do 50-50. If you want to do a little bit more acrylic, it's up to you to thin out the chunkiness of the glitter, but this one's not very chunky. And I'm just going to mix it. So any glitter mix you purchase, you pretty much want to mix it half and half if it's mine or anybody else's. A lot of times, like I said, chunkier glitter mixes, you want more acrylic powder, okay? So there's my little mix ready to go. And what I'm going to do first is apply another coat of primer very quickly. And then I'm going to apply a clear coat of acrylic because I don't want to put the glitter mix right on the nail. And there's a couple reasons for that. If you're not sure if your acrylic mix is going to bleed, there's that. But also you can maybe stain your nail bed with the color. But also if you want to go and change it out without taking everything off, you want to just do a fill, but you want to change your design, you can just file off the color, the glitter, and you'll have a clear base underneath. So I'm going to apply a second coat of primer right before I apply this coat of clear acrylic, okay? So I'm going to take my brush. This is a, oh gosh, this is a number 12 oval from Beauty Secrets from Sally's. I do not like this brush anymore. I used to like it, but I just grabbed it right now, so it's okay. It's not my favorite though, just so you know. So I might even have trouble working with it right now. So I'm going to dip it into my monomer, get some acrylic. And it doesn't have to be too thick, this coat. Sorry, this brush I'm not used to working with it because it's a size 12, so it's really big. So it takes a lot more, it takes in a lot more monomer, and then you can pick up a lot more acrylic, which people like that. So I like working with the number 8. Some people like working with a larger one. I'm going to let that settle and come to consistency, and then I'm just going to push it down. This is probably a little bit thicker than I wanted because, like I said, this brush, I'm not used to working with it. What I'm going to do is go ahead and bring it forward, that same amount. And if you're working on your real hands, you do not want to get any of these products on your skin, okay? Because that can cause allergic reactions later. I've been getting a lot of questions about that recently. But part of why some people have reactions is because it gets to your skin and then your body does not like that. And you start developing allergic reactions. Okay, so I just laid that down. If I was doing this on my real nail, I'd go a little bit thinner. I'm going to go ahead and form a tip. You don't have to do that. You can just leave it and then go in with your glitter mix or whatever color you want to use. I'm just going to go ahead and form a little clear tip, and that just kind of helps that glitter stick to that anyway, so it gives it a base instead of messing around with glitter all over the tip of the nail, but it will make your nail a little bit thicker, okay? So you got to keep that in mind if you don't like that. And it's not going to be the longest nail in the world, just a little baby almond shaped nail. Okay, so I'm going to let this set up for just a little minute. Hopefully you can kind of see what I did. I built a little tiny nail. Okay, I'm just going to wait for that. Set up for a few seconds. Now I have my mix here, so what I'm going to do is dip into my acrylic, into my monomer, pick up some of my mix, and just lay that down and spread it out. And since it does have the little hearts and things, I do want to manipulate it so that the hearts end up on top and not just buried underneath. So you have some time to play with the Diva DC products. And it also depends on how wet a bead you picked up to begin with. And I'm just going right over my jar because I'm not real concerned, but you can probably work off to the side. You don't want to work right on top of your mix just in case some falls back in there. Okay, and then again give it the same shape. A nice rounded or almond shape. Okay, and I'm just going to let that set up for a second before we encapsulate it. Okay, so now I'm going to take a nice thin coat of the acrylic and just cover that up. Again, you want to be thinner at the cuticle area. You don't want it too thick. And push it up towards the front. I probably should have gone a little bit thinner with that first base coat. Sorry guys. You can keep that in mind when you do yours. I just like to do that so, like I said, so it doesn't stain, and so you can also do a quick fill if you wanted to without having all that bulk underneath. So I'm just going to encapsulate the nail and let that dry completely before we come in to file. Okay, I've been letting it set up. It's not quite dry yet, but I'm going to take the form off just to let it dry a little better underneath and all that. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take that off. If you have a pinching tool, you could totally pinch it. People have asked me when you should pinch it. basically you don't want to pinch it when it's too wet, because obviously it's just going to squeeze, you know, the sides, and it's going to be a big mess. You kind of want to wait for it to firm up and start looking a little bit matte, and then you can get your pinching tool or tweezers. Some people use the very large tweezers and just squeeze it. Some people use the back of their fingers like this and squeeze it, and it gives a nicer shape to your nail. But for now, I'm just going to let that finish curing. Okay, it's almost ready. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is, you see the sides, there's a little bit of this little extra stuff hanging out here. So what I like to do is always come in to the very sides and make them nice and straight, according to obviously the edge of the side of the nail. And if you have it stuck to your skin, which I haven't done in a long time, but sometimes when you're first starting out, you want to pull your skin away and then get under there and do your side walls. Nice. Ooh. Perfect the tip, of course. You can do a lot of the shaping when you're done, but I'd like to get that going. And then you're going to file down the top if there's any lumps or bumpiness, which there always is, a little something. So we do that, give it a really nice shape, and then you can come in with a buffer and buff it out. This one is really nice. It's from Nailite. It has, I think the side is like I would say it's like a 100 possibly. So this is a really nice file. You can do all the shaping, and then you come in with the other side that's a little bit squishy, and then you can do your buffing with that side. Okay, so let me finish filing and buffing. It's all filed and done, and I try to clean up a little bit, but I forgot to show you guys that. So basically, this is where sometimes people wash their hands when they're done. Some people say you shouldn't wash your hands, that you shouldn't even wet your hands for however long. So I'm just going to leave it, but you can just wipe it off if you like, all that extra dust, or use a little dust brush, or use some dehydrator, even just the alcohol or whatever, and clean it off. That's fine too. So it has a real nice soft surface. Now what I'm going to do is a little bit of 3D art. So I have a little dappen dish here, and sometimes I like to mix my monomer with acetone so that the artwork dries a little bit faster. And people have asked me, like, why do you do that? And that's the reason for that. Okay, so I'm just going to get very little. I'm going to use this pipette thing that I got at Sally's, and I barely put even enough to go to the very little tip here. Okay, so I'm going to squirt that in there, and then I'm going to get the same amount of monomer and pour that in there. Maybe a little bit more monomer, sometimes it gets a little too dry. Okay, so that's all I'm mixing there. It's about half monomer and half acetone. Again, you don't have to do that. It just helps me do my artwork and dry a little faster. Okay, so I have that mixture, and then I'm going to use Neon Pink by Diva DC and Neon Green by Diva DC. I'm just going to open these up, put them to the side here. And the little brush I'll be using is this tiny little number 4, I believe. It's washed off. I think it's a number 4. It might be a number 2. It's pretty small brush, and you can pick these up in lots of different places. I have a really good one from Born Pretty store, and I think this one came from Diva DC. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to add some little flowers. I really don't know what I was going to do. I just picked out the colors, so let's just do what we can. And maybe what I'll do is, so I'm going to get some monomer on here. I'm just dipping my brush. I'm going to pick up a little pink pearl, and I'm just going to place it like right here. And that's very small, as you can see, but the nail is also very small. So what I'm going to do is just let that sit until it comes to like a matte consistency. And in the meantime, with my brush, I'm dipping in the monomer, and I'm kind of getting the shape back to it so it stays more pointy. Some people want them flat, pointy, whatever. It depends on what you're going to do with for your artwork. And I'm just going to make like little flower petals. So I'm going to smash it right in the middle and push it out here. And I think I'm just going to push it right back in there. Looks more like a sakura blossom petal, but there it is. So I'm going to make about 3 of these in this same little area. Another one right here. And again, just wait for that to come to a matte consistency. Like I never have a plan for this kind of thing, so sorry. I don't really explain too much at the beginning. I'm just kind of pushing them. Looks more like the way I make my bows. Okay, so there's another little weird kind of petal. And I'll put another one. Oops. right up here. That one's a little bit too small. Let me add a little bit more. So I'm going to let that come to consistency. And then I'm going to flatten it out too, just the way I did with the other ones, and push it back towards the middle. And this is what's hard. I'm trying to get it filmed and I can't really get my brush in here. So I'm going to come straight down. As you can see, the belly of the brush is kind of flattened here. And I'm going to pull it out. And then I'm going to start turning the brush so that it's more of the belly of the brush, flattening it out. Push back in the middle. And that's that. So that one looks a little bit different because of the way I had to do it. And then in the middle there, I'm going to add a little bit of the neon green. Just going to place it right there. And I'm just going to wait for that to come up to consistency, and I'm just going to put, you can put a rhinestone in there right now, that'd be really cute. It'll just hold on to it because of the acrylic. I'm just going to push a little tiny hole in the middle when it comes to consistency, when it's ready. And I'm just going to poke my brush straight in there, kind of make a little hole. And of course my brush doesn't want to cooperate with me at this time. There it is. Okay, so that's all I did. And I think that's all I'm going to do, because I have all that good glitter over here, and then I have this little flower, and it would be cute to add another one over here, but this nail's so small, I think that's enough. So I'm going to wait for that to dry real well, and we'll come in with our UV top coat or just a regular top coat. Before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and add some little white dots. This is just the inside of a acrylic paint. This is the Bella one I showed you guys the other day. It's bright white. And just to break up a little bit of the brightness of the whole nail, I'm just going to take some of this and add some little dots here and there, and I think I'm going to start here. And just add some little dots trailing here and there, and maybe another set kind of higher up here like that. And just like that. Just add a couple little sets of dots. Add more at the bottom if you like, but I think that's good enough. So I'll let that dry and we'll come back. Okay, I'm just going to try to close up a little bit here if I can. So that's it. So now it's nice and dry. I'm just going to take my IBD Intense Seal, or whatever, like I said, top coat you like. This one needs to be cured for about 1 minute to 90 seconds in a UV light. And I'm just going to, it actually looks pretty cute matte even, but I'm not going to leave it at that. I want that glitter at the bottom there to stand out, so I'm going to apply the sealer to the whole nail here. And as far as with the flowers, you can leave them matte, you can make them shiny, do whatever you like. I'm just going to put a little bit on the very tips, just to give it a little shine so it catches more light. Okay, and I'm going to cure it for about 1 minute to 90 seconds. Okay, it's all cured. I just want to show you start to finish. Usually I just say I'm going to cure it and then I don't come back and I just show you pictures, but I'm going to take some cuticle oil. This is California Mango. It's awesome, and it comes from Sally's, at least this one did. And of course you would apply your cuticle oil and rub it in there to your cuticles, and you're all done. So if you guys like this simple, quick little nail design, and if you're interested in this mix or any other mix that I have, you can check out my store. The link will be in the description box, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye now.